I'm not interested. How often do you hear that when you show up at someone's house? They answer the door, they look down, they see your logo. And by the way, this doesn't say your company name. What it says is, I sell roofs. So the homeowner, when they hear that knock, they're looking around, honey, you expecting someone? No, are you? Nah, let's go see who it is. And the two questions that are running through their mind are, who in the heck is this and what do they want? And when that door creaks open and they look down at you, they size you up and they see a roofer, they say, I'm being sold a roof, I am not interested. Especially for the 90-some-odd% of storm restoration projects, specifically in the Midwest on hail or wind damage, where a homeowner doesn't quite know that the roof is damaged. And these folks say, I don't have a problem, I don't need anything. And what I've found after surveying literally thousands and thousands of people from stages all across America is that 70 to 90% of homeowners who end up buying a roof from you had no idea that they had problems with their roof to begin with. So when we know we have this information and we know that when we show up at that house and the homeowner is like, yeah, I'm not interested, that's because in their mind, they don't think they have a problem. And they don't even know you, which means they don't trust you. So in this video, I want to teach you a very easy, practical tool and a simple strategy to help you overcome the I'm not interested objection when this happens the minute that that door opens. Before we get to it, I just want to say a quick welcome or welcome back. My name is Adam Bensman, the Roof Strategist, and it is my absolute joy and honor to be serving you because everything I do on my YouTube channel, my podcast, and inside my all-in-one sales training and system that's currently being used by many, many thousands of folks is designed for one simple reason, and that is to give you and your team all of the tools, strategies, resources, and training that you need to smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. So if you're new here, welcome. I got a freebie for you and I'd love to get it in your hands. It's our brand new free training center, which is available using the link in the description, or you can just text the word free, F-R-E-E, to 303-222-7133. Again, text the word free to 303-222-7133 or use the link in the description. All right, now it is time for us to dive deep into how we approach customers when they tell us they're not interested. Now, first, some groundwork. The groundwork is this. I've done another video on this topic of I'm not interested. And if you haven't yet seen it, you can click up here or there, wherever YouTube decides to put that card, and you'll be able to watch that video. Now, in that video, you'll see that I teach you to just lean into this, to use this opportunity of rejection to keep a customer engaged and speaking with you. And believe it or not, homeowners have globbed onto this video. I've received hate mail, death threats, you name it. And if you go in that video and go look through the comments, you'll see a bunch. And hey, if you want to put some support up and put in a word for us good guys, that'd be awesome. But the reason that I'm sharing that with you is that no matter what you do, homeowners have a tendency to get upset. It's their home, it's their castle, and I understand that. We live in a free world, and so long as we operate above board, we're compliant with local and state laws when it comes to door-to-door sales and soliciting business, we have nothing to worry about. And the reality is you can't and never will please anybody, because I know maybe you can relate. There are certain homeowners that I could literally take a pot of gold and say, here's a pot of gold, I'm doing your roof for free, and they're still going to complain, they're going to find something wrong. So although this approach may seem like it takes a tremendous amount of persistence and a tremendous amount of grit to approach a homeowner in this way, I just want you to know that you already heard no, and there's literally no worse place you can go. So using this plan either means you got rejected instantly and you took a microsecond and you're still rejected, which means you're no worse off. And in fact, you're probably developed some skill sets of leaning into that discomfort and learning how to face rejection and to face objections head on, or it works. Even if it's 1 in 10 and you end up picking up these opportunities and deals like this gentleman who I'll never forget, and his name was Gerald. Now, Gerald, I even remember his last name. Of course, I'm not going to share it here. But Gerald lived in Waunakee, Wisconsin. And I'll remember, I got into this neighborhood and I ended up getting 4 customers in this neighborhood. And I stopped by every time that I met with a customer or did their roof. And Gerald and his wife, their roof was in horrible shape. It was an old 3-tab. It was dilapidated. It was crumbly. It was faded. And I knew in my heart of hearts that Gerald and his wife were going to need to come out of pocket at some point and buy a brand new roof. Now, a hailstorm had hit recently. It was minor damage, small damage in a fringe area, but I'd done numerous roofs in the neighborhood. And Gerald, every time I stopped by, he'd literally shoo me off because he did what everyone did. He looked down, he saw I was a roofer, and he would say, not interested. I'm not interested. And I'll be honest, he was downright rude 3 times. Now, every time he shooed me off, I didn't take it to heart. I just said, you know what? He doesn't know me from Adam, pun intended. And my job is to help show him something that he's unaware of to help him make a decision. Because what was going through Gerald's mind is, my roof is fine because we don't have any leaks and I haven't seen anything. And if you've lived in that house for 20 years, like many homeowners do, and you get a stranger that shows up wearing the I Sell Roofs logo, which is your company logo, and you're thinking, hey, I don't have any damage. My roof's fine. I don't have any leaks. Who the heck are you? Who do you think you are? That's what's going through their mind. So our first mission is to get someone to, one, give us the attention, and two, get an opportunity to show them something on their roof that they had no idea was even a problem. And what I know after surveying many thousands of roofing salespeople, especially when it comes to storm damage, hail, wind, or hurricane, that 70 to 90% of homeowners who end up replacing their roof with you had absolutely no idea that their roof even had problems, because in their home they look up and they don't have any leaks or anything, so why would there be an issue? But Gerald was the gentleman who I was able to take through using what I am about to teach you, from wanting to kick me off his doorstep to not only giving me the time of day, letting me on his roof, realizing he did in fact have a problem he was unaware of, choosing me to do the work and absolutely loving it, telling his neighbors, and even inviting me in for dinner. So when I get resistance from homeowners that have like spammed my other video with a bunch of hate comments, they're just not my customer and they're not your customer, and that's okay. But when we approach roofing sales from a place of heart and service, even though you show up and you know that you can help someone, you can save them a ton of money, you might get rejected, and that's okay. We just got to say, hey, you know what? I tried, and I'm sorry it upset you. I could have helped you, but that's on you. And using this approach will help you do just that, to take the customers that want to punch you in the face or get you off their doorstep and turn them into close, dear friends. And here, my friend, now that you've heard the story, is how we do it. I'm going to switch into role play, and then we're going to break it down. When someone answers the door and that creaks open and they look down and they say, I'm not interested, and they're about to close it, the first thing we want to do is cut right to the chase. And that is by acknowledging what they just told me and leaning into it. Hey, I understand you're not interested, and I don't blame you. All right, I don't blame you for not being interested. Then what we want to do is mention someone else in the neighborhood or another customer. Now, quick disclaimer, and I got a video coming on this topic way later. Don't BS. Don't throw out like, oh, I'm working with the Guilfords, when the Guilfords don't exist. Don't make up names. Don't play the gimmick stuff. I absolutely hate it. And when people tell me they do it, it drives me nuts. I don't agree with it. I don't condone it. So this particular approach only works if you've had a story or someone in the neighborhood or another customer that you've done this for, which is show them something they didn't know existed. Back to role play. I understand you're not interested, and I don't blame you. In fact, Peggy wasn't interested at all either until I showed her the photos of her roof. That right there is the hook. And I want to explain and break down the psychology, and then we're going to add a little bit more to this. First, I understand you're not interested, and I don't blame you for not being interested. In fact, I wouldn't be interested either, especially if you don't have any leaks coming in your house. Before you close that door, Peggy, about 4 doors down, she wasn't interested either until I showed her these photos of her own roof. And she couldn't believe what I had shared with her. Now, usually at that point, what you've done is acknowledge someone and made them feel heard and respected, and that you weren't being pushy saying you should be interested. You're acknowledging that, you're repeating back and saying, I don't blame you for not being interested. And then telling them a little bit about why they're not interested, which is, if your roof's not pouring water into your home, why would you think there's an issue? Peggy wasn't interested either until she saw the photos that I took. Now, when we mention this, until she saw them, all of a sudden it brings this mystery in. Seeing is believing, right? It's a story, and it builds curiosity. It piques their interest. It intrigues someone to say, what is it that you showed her? What did they see? And now they're going to give you that just slight moment of a time of day to explain what's going on. So I want to tie this in one short little intro, and then we'll talk about how we can keep this going. Because again, that first goal when you hear I'm not interested is this simple: just to keep the conversation going and to keep the door opening by meeting the homeowner where they are and highlighting something that piques their curiosity that they may want to hear more about. And again, here's how that goes. Hey, listen, I totally understand you're not interested, and I don't blame you. I probably wouldn't be either, especially if there's no water pouring inside your house. Listen, Peggy 4 doors down was not interested either until I showed her the photos and videos that I took up on her roof during my free inspection. Now, I'm not implying implying, sir, that you have anything wrong with your roof, but I'm guessing that your roof age is about identical as Peggy's was, and I provided a 100% free, no obligation photo and video report for her. There are two outcomes. Outcome one, you get a clean bill of health, everything looks good, you'll see it with your own eyes. Outcome two, I find some things, and if I do, I'm gonna show you so you can see them with your very own eyes, and you can be the judge, and I'll happily walk you through those next steps, whether you choose me, someone else, or decide not to do anything at all. Now, I understand you weren't interested. How do you feel about a complimentary inspection? No obligation. I'll hop up there, takes photos, videos, and I'll show you what I find. Do you have any objection if I grab my ladder real quick? And then I can end with that negative objection. And again, in these videos, I give you the long version, okay? Now, I want to explain why I give you such a long version, because I know what you might be thinking. Adam, you really went on there. That was too long at the door. It might be, but it also might not be. If the homeowner is interested and they're paying attention to me and I can keep communicating, am I going to do it? Oh, you bet I am. But if I can tell that they're trying to hurry along, I might trim some of that up. But what I've learned after training literally tens of thousands of roofing salespeople is that in order for training to stick, we need to give you the long version because you're going to retain this much and you're going to put into practice this much. So if I give you just this much, you're going to use just a tiny bit and it's not going to work super effectively. So when we approach that homeowner, we keep that conversation going, they're going to give us that time of day. Whether you're selling storm damage roofs or retail roofs will allow you to navigate down that path. You know, when was the last time you had your roof inspected and routine maintenance conducted? Hey, where are you guys at in the process? Or going straight in to offer the inspection. No matter what, when you follow this framework of acknowledging that homeowner, saying, hey, I understand you're not interested and I don't blame you. In fact, Peggy wasn't interested either until she saw the photos and videos I took and showed her 100% free. And that's all you need to keep that door open and further along the conversation. So what do you think? Does this strategy work? Does it not work? Do you have something to add? Drop a comment and share below. What I love about this channel is the community. It's you. It's the engaging, thought-provoking, open sharing of people sharing what's working, what's not working, and having collaboration, because we don't all need to agree, but what we all need to do is come with an open heart and an open mind to learn. So I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, by the way, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I have new content coming each and every week, and I do have one more ask, if it's okay. I ask you to spread the love and to share this video with your team. Hit that share button, copy the link, pass it off in your group chat, your Telegram, Slack, group text message chain, because I know that sometimes all it takes for that one extra sale, 2 extra sales that cascades into 20 more for the year is just that one simple strategy to turn the most common rejection of I'm not interested into an opportunity, even if it's only a few people who will keep that door open, have a conversation with you, let you up on that roof, and have what happened for you is what happened to me with Gerald. To take that person who absolutely wants nothing to do with you, and in fact isn't even nice to you, rude to you, to not only you earning their business, but them inviting you over for dinner because you solved a massive problem and helped them through a situation that no one really wants to go through. Because at the end of the day, my friend, we are selling the most boring item in the entire world, and that's roofing. In fact, one of the most expensive items that anyone's gonna have to buy when it comes to maintaining their house. But you get an opportunity to create an amazing experience for them while they go through this process, and to smash your income goal along the way. So just because our time here is about to wrap up doesn't mean your and my time has to. So if you want to keep chugging along with me, YouTube thinks you're really going to love this video. And if you haven't yet done it, jump into our brand new free training center right here, and I'll see you in the next one.